Thanks, JB. I appreciate that. I've got to tell you, Brian, that is really impressive. I like to, no, I'm going to leave it with you. I tend to walk a lot when I'm talking, and I'm worried to death I'm going to trip up here, and I don't have wheels connected to my feet. Welcome, everyone. I have the honor of introducing the first company. My name is Tom Payne, and to get things started, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. By a show of hands, how many people were rooting for the Clemson Tigers in the college football national championship game? Come on, be proud. Your team won the game. How about the Crimson Tide? How many were rooting for Alabama? Makes me wonder if I'd asked 2 weeks ago if the hands up in the air would have been different. How many people at the time said, enough with football, I'm watching HGTV? Come on, I know there's a few of you out there. Okay. Let's focus in on those two teams for a minute. Think about that national championship game. Think about how much time and effort and preparation that those two teams put into that game. That was the 15th game of their season. Let's think about the amount of prep work that they put into all 15 games in their respective seasons and how they tried to improve their performance and their outcomes from one game to the next. You see, almost any major athletic team is going to tell you that there are three key areas to preparation that drive success. One is the time spent on the practice field, another is time spent in the weight room, and another is time spent in the film room. See, from its inception, athletics has been outcome-based. And what better way to improve your outcomes than to look at past performance, change your strategies, your tactics, and then look for better outcomes in the future. I know companies are trying to do this as well. As they move from being more time clock based to being outcome based and performance based, they're trying to better their employees and better their companies. Nowhere else is this evident than what you see with sales reps. For 24 years, I've had one title. I've been a sales rep. I've worked for a multitude of different companies, but I've always been a sales rep. And by most measures, I've been very, very successful. I mean, I've sold everything from floor tile to global enterprise software systems. I've had deals worth a few $100s. I've had deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I've closed lots of business. And I will tell you that I have lost more deals than I've ever won. And I have failed more than I've been successful. And I've often thought, what would have the greatest impact on my ability to have been more successful? And I think about what athletic teams do in the film room. What if I had access to my past performance, looked real time at the way I answered questions, the objections that I got, the key indicators that I got back from a prospect, and then I used that to adjust my behavior and my future performance just like an athletic team does. That's why I'm so excited about Convolytics. Convolytics is going to transform the way that companies teach their reps to go out and improve their outcomes. They're going to be disruptive to the way that companies train their employees, moving away from the genericized way of training that we've lived with for decades and being more specific to that company sales team and that company sales rep. I have the honor and pleasure to introduce Obed Eugene, who's the CEO and co-founder of Convolytics, to come up and tell you more. Obed?
It's a great introduction. Thanks, Tom. That was awesome. That was awesome. Hi, my name is Obed Eugene, co-founder and CEO at Convolytics. And at Convolytics, we're helping sales reps improve their sales calls to help them close more deals. Meet Mike. Mike is a sales manager, and he manages a team of 10 sales reps. Mike's job is to make sure that his team is closing deals and hitting their quota every month. But 75% of sales reps are underperforming. They're either barely hitting their quota or not hitting their quota at all. So sales managers like Mike are spending a lot of time having to coach and train their sales reps. What they're doing is sitting in on these sales calls to try to figure out how to help their sales reps improve. But sales reps are making about 300 sales calls per month. And with a team like Mike's, 10 sales reps on a team, they're making about 3,000 sales calls every month. Now, it's impossible for a sales manager like Mike to be able to listen in on all of these calls. So this is why we built Convolytics. Our technology records and transcribes sales calls, and then we perform an analysis on those calls to figure out how sales reps can improve. We then give a report on how sales reps can improve on those calls and give them suggestions on what to say. So let's take John, for example. John is a sales rep on Mike's team. Now, John is very enthusiastic. He has a great personality. But for some reason, he's not hitting his quota every month. He's not performing well. So without technology, we will record John's calls and figure out what's going on with his calls. We'll be looking for how John is handling objections about pricing, how John is handling objections about competitors, and figuring out how he's talking with his customers about their pain points. We then give a detailed report on how John can improve on those calls, and then we can help managers like Mike understand how to help his sales reps. So I know you guys are all wondering, what did we find out about John? Why is John underperforming? So we found out that John just loves to talk. He's talking too much on the calls. He's speaking about 60% of the time, and he's not allowing his customers to get a word in, and this is a big problem. We also found out that John does not stick to the script. Now, our technology is not only looking for negative things, we're also looking to figure out what sales reps are doing correctly as well. And we found out that John is pretty good at building rapport on these calls, and he's very knowledgeable on his product. So we're targeting a very large market. There are 2.2 million sales reps in the United States. But our long-term vision is to be able to record and analyze every conversation that companies are having with their customers. And we'll be targeting customer support reps as well. And there are 1.8 million customer support reps in the United States. The total addressable market is a $6.64 billion market. Q4 of last year, we launched our MVP, and we've been doing a pilot with a company in Detroit. Early this year, we're working on working some companies in our pipeline and looking to close some deals in the Cincinnati and Midwest area. Later this year, we're looking to expand and start to reach out to those customer support reps that we mentioned before. We have a very talented team. Myself, I'm a software engineer, and for the last 10 years, I've been building software and doing data analysis. In my last company, I led product development and led the product to analyze over 15 million data points. That company was funded through Techstars and the Sprint Accelerator. My co-founder, Derek, he's our chief product officer, and he's been building and designing product for the last 5 years. So with Convolytics, we're helping sales managers like Mike manage their team more effectively so that they can help their team perform better and close deals. This is Convolytics. Again, my name is Obed, and I look forward to speaking with you all.